Hi guys, so I'm going to read Marvel Comics number 2 with the Human Torch story. So the at this point Marvel Comics was renamed to Marvel Mystery Comics, and I think for the rest of its run it'll be called Marvel Mystery Comics. So it's actually Marvel Mystery Comics number 2. That's the actual full name. Now, there's no number 2 on here, but the cover is Angel on it. We won't be reading the Angel story, but I will read the Human Torch and name more stories. Um, see, I'm gonna cut. I gotta cut here because I gotta bring up the actual comic. But I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, so yeah, I'll just give you guys a warning. This story's really long. Um, for 1940s stories, I found the 1940s Marvels or the comic stories were usually very short, but this one is actually very long. Um, but I don't know how long it's going to be. But anyway, from the annals of the late Professor Horton, we find the following data on the Human Torch. After finishing my robot, which is the nearest thing to a human being I've ever seen, I was shocked to see his burst into a super hot flame every time he came into contact with oxygen. I, his creator, am afraid. I'm afraid of my own creation, the Human Torch. Um, what causes him to burn? I wish I knew. My colleagues say it's some sort of spontaneous combustion, but they are too only guessing. I must find a way to control this flame, but how? Meanwhile, he's buried in an airtight tomb. This concrete ought to hold him. It's airtight. So yeah, it's just a recap of what happened in the last issue. My creation, the Human Torch, escaped from his was that Bier today? Reports that fires have broken out all over the city have caused my brain to almost snap, as I am responsible. Why must everything I touch start to burn or melt? Having caught up with the torch and something home, or blazing for home, saw his melt the steel tank full of nitrogen, and the gas put the flame out. Then through the blazing embers I saw him control his flame without any aid whatever. Now he can control the flame at his slightest command. I saw him do it. It's amazing, but I see him throw a ball of flame from his own body as one would throw a ball. And then I seen him leap through the air for many blocks when his flame is burning. His body is lighter than air. Bringing him into my laboratory, I saw possibilities to make a legitimate fortune. The torch misunderstood my views, and burning a hole through the ceiling as he pointed his hand upward, he leaped through it as he left a terrible warning to all. No one shall ever use me for personal gains or have me confined to any one place. I shall always be free to protect those on whom others inflict themselves for selfish purposes. And he was gone. Where? And now so long, Horton. And now on into another Human Torch adventure. Yeah, the Human Torch is this original Human Torch, he's a really cool character. I mean, he's a robot, and he's like pure flame. Like nobody, like imagine back then, like there was nothing like this back then, like a robot of flame, like a superhero who's a robot of flame. Like it was really cool, and I like the flashbacks are written. It's like his journal. It's really cool. So I say it was an awful crime for the torch to burn up Horton's home and kill him. Oh wait, he killed him? Oh, did Horton kill himself? I don't know. Anyway, perhaps it was his own fault, ma'am. Waiting for the Tipton Classic to start, a woman speaks to a stranger standing alongside of her. He saw possibilities of making a fortune for himself. Obviously, the torch didn't approve. That was not in the papers. How did you know? Oh, never mind. Look, the racers are warming up. Sleek things, aren't they? Just then the flag shoots down. The blast of supermotors roar as the autos are out for the Tipton Auto Stakes. Wow, look at those babies move. While in the stands, a tall, stern figure watches the flitting autos, the Human Torch. Passing the striped post for the third time, the autos pick up more speed. But suddenly brakes tighten, wheels screech, and the television snaps as Car 7 is forced off the track. Car 8 guns her motor still faster. Crash. Bouncing and rolling, the small racer burns into an inferno of searing flames. His clothes are burning. Great Scott, it's the Human Torch. The Torch makes a mad dash across the track in an effort to save the trapped driver in Car 7. I'm too late, he's dead. So, the first car was not an accident, it was murder. As the Torch turns to the track, two more cars seemingly burst into flame. A plane flying above the track makes a dive for the car. It immediately bursts into flame. That plane, every time it gets in back of an auto, starts to blaze. Meanwhile, where are you going, Ross? You won the race. I saw the guy who put those cars on fire. Get the cops. There's your man. He's to blame for those burning cars. He's the Human Torch, a killer. Officer, this man's upset. I'll tell you that an airplane was responsible. You're under arrest, Torch, on charge of murder. Come along, peacefully or else. Else what? Snapping out of the flame, the Torch proclaims his innocence. His body's too hot. I burned my hand. You forgot your bracelets, they're melting. With the speed of lightning, the cop leaps at the Torch with his handcuffs in full view. The fun's over. Let's get going. I have nothing to fear, I'm innocent. You're the only one who thinks so. Let's go. It's no use walking around like a caged animal. Listen, here's something that might interest you, Torch. What? Who are you? Thrown into a cell, the Torch walks around like a trapped animal. My name's Johnson. The screws tipped me off that you were coming. Too bad you can't prove you were framed. Framed? How do you know? I used to be in the racing racket till I crossed Blackie Ross. He sure got a sweet racket. He always used to to pump incendiary bullets into the cars. The car goes up in flames and Ross's car comes in. An easy winner. I'm going to get that guy. Now determined to get Ross, the Torch flings his flaming body at the steel bars, which part without resisting under the terrific heat. And I thought the day of miracles was over. So long, Sergeant. I'll be seeing you when I get the real killers. What the? As cops try to grab him, Torch cuts a path of flame on the wooden floor. The bullets are melting before they touch him. Send out a radio call. As the Torch burns through the entrance door, machine guns clatter. With a police car in hot pursuit of the Torch, the latter whirls, lifts his arm, and sends a streak of flame sailing into the tires with perfect aim. Boom. While other cars close in on him, a sudden leap carries him far over the autos. So long, fellows. Looks like I'm going to go to the races. So, Anita Classic. Days later, we find the Torch dressed shabbily in front of a poster. Who knows, I might pick up Ross's trail there. They've got police watching for me at the gate, but this tree will serve my purpose. Great Scott, that's the death plane I saw at Tipton. The race is on, and cars go streaking by, when suddenly a strong motor drones overhead. It's an airplane. I'll get that ship when she passes me again. The Torch puts on the flame. As the plane dips and lets loose a barrage of incendiary bullets, the Torch leaps onto the wings, which melt instantly. Ah, it's melting. They move swiftly. The Torch puts his hot arms in the motor. A stiff breeze fans the flames as the plane drops onto the inner field. Oh, I read it wrong. I forgot this. While the racer crashes the rail in a mess of smoke and flames. So, the pilot got out of the plane, hey? I gotta get to Blackie's pit. That fireman looks hungry. No, you don't. I got a couple questions to ask. Wait, don't burn me. I'll do anything you say. The torch winds up and flings a ball of fire that ignites the grass around the pilot. Boom. But suddenly, the plane explodes. I changed my mind, Torch. All evidence against me and Blackie was blown up in that ship. So now you can go fly a kite. It's the Torch. My gosh, he's flying through space. But as the fire department trucks are rushed to the burning ship, the Torch leaps in a burst of speed. I know that guy, but from where? He's the Human Torch. Hours later, the Torch sits in a local hotel, frequented by racing drivers. It is here that he hopes he might pick up Ross's trail. Hello, Blackie? This is Red. Guess who's at the hotel range? Yeah, the Human Torch. Okay, keep an eye on him till you hear from me. Running to a phone, the shifty little man dials a number. At Blackie's. We've got to get that Torch. He's already caused too much trouble. How can I do it? Listen, I got a plan. Sniff, sniff. Is there anything wrong, miss? Later, Blackie's girl wends her way to the hotel range. There, she sits down next to the Torch. You probably heard of the car that was burned at the track today. The driver was my brother. Now he's dead, and all on account of Ross. Did you say Ross? Why, that's the rat I'm looking for. Where can I find him? He hangs out at the Elite Garage. Elite Garage, eh? How do I get there? It's quite some distance from here. I'll take you there in my car. Thanks, miss. That sure is swell of you. The girl leads the Torch to her car. Later, we're almost there. This is it, but you'll have to open the roll doors to get in. I get in. Well, here goes. What the? Nice work, Lola. He can't put his flame on in the water. We better get this vat into the truck, Blackie, and start moving. As the Torch forces the doors open, he is surprised to find himself hurtling through space and into a huge vat filled with water. Now that we got the Torch, what are we going to do with him? You just get behind the wheel and I'll tell you where to stop. Now, you make a left turn on the next pike and follow the dirt road. That's where the old lime pits are, after hours of driving. Exactly. Now, Red, you'll help place the vat into one of those cars. She's okay now, Blackie. Right here goes. The switch is snapped and the cart shoots swiftly into the rocky cave, and the Torch is helpless. Hot lime. Reaching the end of the line, the cart is dumped and the Torch sails into the boiling lime pit. Well, Lola, I guess that's that. The Torch won't bother us anymore. Yeah, but let's get out of here. This place gives me the creeps. Wait, did you hear something? Sounded like a laugh. Could it have been the Torch? He's buried. Huh? You got the jitters, Blackie. No one can laugh in boiling lime. Let's get out of here. You're right, Lola. It must have been the wind. But let's get going. We got to reach Austin City for the Birmingham handicaps. Promise me, Ross, there'll be no killing this time. I promise, but let's get going. It's a 2-day ride. Look, there's the flame again. Let's see what it's all about. Nothing doing. That place is haunted. Being closed 10 years now. Later, from a nearby village, the natives see the flames shoot out of the mouth of the lime pit where the Torch lies buried. These are human footprints, all right. The person must have been thrown into the pit. Yeah, whoever he was, he burned out the lime completely. It's empty. There's no lime left. The following day, the villagers make for the pit and find burning footprints coming from the lip of the cave. So this is what the townspeople saw. Newspaper. I hope they have some racing news. Won't Ross be stunned when I meet up with him? Luckily, I found these overalls to make me less conspicuous for the time being. Inside the town. There's a race at Austin City tomorrow. Ross ought to be interested. There's a $20,000 stake, so Jailbird escapes. Austin City is a 2 days travel from here, and the race is tomorrow. Well, what am I waiting for? I've got to get Austin before the race. The townsfolk are amazed as the Human Torch puts on his flame and streaks through the town like a comet. The Torch's body, now lighter than air, leaps over the broad streams and bridges in a mad effort to reach Austin City. I'm too late. The race is about starting. I can hear the motors warming up. By noon the next day, the Torch wings it into Austin City. The Torch was right, for at that moment the starter slashes down with the flag and the race is on. They've started, now I've got to single Blackie out. Time being precious, the Torch crashes through the surrounding fence. It's the Torch, good lord, he's passed 4 of the 10 autos. He's like a human rocket. Well, from the judge's stand. Yeah, it's like the caption should be like on top. I'm so used to the captions being on top. It's really weird, but I think this was probably one of the first comics that used captions anyway. But once on the track, the Torch whirls by the racers, beating them under his own power in an effort to single out the murdering rat, Blackie Ross Whiz. Taking a long leap, there he is, just in front of me. Here goes. Taking a long leap, the Torch flies into Blackie's car. Wow, it's the Torch. But Blackie, losing his control, sends his own car smashing into his own pit. Blackie's crew, in an attempt to draw the Torch away from him, opens fire and heads for the grandstands. Okay, chumps, you asked for it. The Torch unwittingly gives chase as he enters the stands. They burst into flame. My gosh, the people will be burnt to death in there. That must never be. The Torch whirls and lets out a long, weird yell. You're... Oh, those flames know their master's voice? So he can, so the flames he causes, he can, summon them. That's actually kind of cool, but... Now for the Blackie, I saw his men carry him to a car. Suddenly, the flames and smoke disappear completely. Whoa, there he goes. Come on, step on it. The Torch is coming. A super motor blasts. It spins ahead with a new life. The Torch follows suit when, suddenly, the car swerves into a steel mill entrance. Okay, you guys, get on into asbestos suits. We're gonna fight him off. Okay, Blackie. Again, this is before asbestos was known to cause cancer. Now everybody grab a water hose. There's plenty of them laying around. Keep pouring water on him, you dogs. Hey, get the chute open. What the? As Torch enters, the powerful jets of water come from the hoses, force him into an open converter. As the chute opens, slews of molten steel crash down on the helpless victim. Completely covered, the Torch's head disappears under the hot metal. Well, men, I think we finally got the Torch. Now all we have to do is let the steel harden and then dump the block into the ocean. The steel is beginning to cool. And so, men, we are to move the Torch to his new grave, 100 fathoms in the sea. But as Blackie and his men tried to move the open converter, it begins to spurt like a seething volcano. Then, amidst the spurting steel and smoke, the Torch leaps from his molten beer, his body glistening with hot steel. Holy smoke, the Torch is free. Let's get out of here. The steel is weighing me down. I'll have to melt it off. But the weight of the steel causes him to flop, and the 4 executors make for an exit. Split seconds later, the Torch leaps to his feet, sealing the attempted escape. He flings a ball of flame. That'll stop their escape. The ball lands in front of the fleeing men and it forces them back towards the torch. The heat going through the asbestos. Turn back. As the fugitives turn, the torch lifts his hand and points it menacingly. Wait, Torch, don't point your hand at me. I ain't Blackie. So what, didn't you help kill innocent men? From the torch's fingertips, a bit of flame spurts like an arrow directly into the glass protector in the asbestos suit. My eyes, I can't see. I'm blind. Good heavens, the wall's caved in. Suddenly, a wall comes crashing down due to the intense heat generated by the torch. Blackie and his aide step through the opening wall as the torch, half smiling, watches. Sorry about that. So, as the torch, half smiling, watches them. Run, you saps. You won't get far. I still have an ace in the hole. If we can get to the car, that's if we can get to it. Yeah, I think, wow, those guys certainly made a monkey out of me. Oh no. Okay, this part is the torch waits until they get in the car, and as the flaming man moves into action, the smoke screen greets him. The killers make a perfect getaway. Well, those guys certainly made a monkey out of me. I wonder which way they went. Seconds later, the smoke screen clears up. Yeah, the panel layout in this comic is really bad. I gotta say, it's really bad. The panel, like, I love this. The story's good, but like the panel layout is very confusing to read. What's this coming? A police car? I gotta get out of here. Hey, wait, hey Torch, wait, it's me, Johnson, your cellmate. What happened? You see, I had them cornered, but that smoke screen was a new one on me. Yeah, too bad. The rats must have made for the airport. The torch recounts the past events. The torch snaps off his flame. Yeah, well, we can obviously see that. I don't know why they had to describe every single action. I don't know. By the way, how did you get out of jail? If you made a break, I'm going to send you back. Nix, I'm working with the cops on this case. I'm an undercover man. I see, but what about the airport? Is it near here? Yeah, about 5 miles east of the wooden bridge. I hope my guess about Blackie is right. Say, can't this car go any faster? It's creeping. 110 miles per, and you're saying it's creeping? Yep, it's too slow for me. See you at the airport. Turning on his flame, the torch leaps off the side of the car and sails through the air like a feather. That guy's nuts. Straightening out at the bottom, the torch makes for the airport at a record-breaking pace. There's the wooden bridge ahead. I'll have to jump over it, else she'll burn when I pass over. With a mighty leap, the torch wings over the wooden bridge. Yahoo, I made it. Minutes later, the torch bears down towards the entrance to the airport. Uh-oh, I better put out my flame, else those people inside might get hurt. Have you seen Blackie Ross around? No, but there goes his plane on the runway. The plane's motor spurts and races, then shoots down the runway. Its wheels lift off the earth as the torch races forward. They're off the ground. I can't make it. But there's one chance that might bring them down. I hope it works. Winding up his arm, the torch lets loose a ball of fire that sails far ahead of the plane, whirls and crashes into the propeller. It worked. Whatever that was, it melted our prop. We'll have to land. Jumping wing spread, he's done it. The torch. Scatter, he'll get us. The pilot brings the ship down with a dead stick, and as they seek the cause of the melted prop, they spot the torch. As the group spreads, the torch grins and moves his hand in a circle. Instantly, flames surround the fugitives. We're trapped. I see Blackie isn't here. Where is he? Still grinning, the torch makes for the flaming circle, which parts as he nears. Why don't you go burn a hole in the ground? The pilot answers. Because I find it more convenient to burn a hole in your jaw, rat. Ow, my jaw. It's burned. I can't feel it. At that moment, Blackie's car comes speeding in on the field. I wonder what those flames are doing around my plane. Look, it's the torch. That must be Blackie. This time, it's either me or the torch. Yeah, well, don't count me in, Blackie. I'm getting out. Oh, so you want to play, eh? Blackie shoves his foot down full on the gas and makes straight for the torch, who leaps, just as the car is almost on top of him. Missed again, Blackie. Now it's my turn to have some fun. And this is only a sample, you murdering dog. With lightning speed, the torch dodges Blackie's car and at the same time rips off the hood. What the? Letting go of the hood, the torch points his finger at the tire. It blows up with a bang. The flat sends the car rolling in circles. What a break, it's landing in an upright position. The car spits and causes Blackie heads it straight at the torch. Okay, torch, it's my turn now. As Blackie nears the torch, the latter burns into a deep ditch across the field. Blackie, unable to stop or turn, goes sailing through the air and lands with a sickening thud. Seconds later, the gas tank explodes and the cars turn into a mass of flames. Help, I'm pinned against the wheel. I can't move, I'm burning. Inside the car. If I help you, will you sign a complete confession for the racetrack murders? Yes, I'll do anything. Stop yelling, fool. Don't you know you're still wearing an asbestos suit? Huh? Then the torch enters the car and burns away the wheel which pinned Blackie. Later, I forgot all about the asbestos. Anyway, here's the confession. You'll find it complete. As police sirens screech, the torch puts his own flame out and takes the confession from Blackie Ross. Are you okay, Torch? I got a surprise for you. It's Johnson. I see he's in company of the police commissioner. That certainly is a surprise. And so here's Blackie's own confession. Let me see it. The torch explains all to the police commissioner. Yes, it's in perfect order. I'm sorry we thought you a murderer, Torch. Huh? I don't know. He was here. Just look a moment ago. Look there, look. All they see was a pair of footprints burned into the ground. Next month, another Human Torch picture action story. So yeah, the story was kind of good, was pretty good. I liked the idea of the Human Torch robot. I will say the panels were really bad though. Like usually the comic books, like the Stan, like for example, the Stan Lee Fantastic Four ones, which I'm reading now, all the panels are up on top. But the panels here, like a lot of them are like below or like off to the side somewhere. So I don't know, it's a very early comic, so you know, it's, yeah, they didn't really know what they're doing at the time, so yeah. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you could like, comment, or subscribe, that'd be appreciated. If you want me to read a specific comic, just let me know down in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys later.